The river was low that morning. Not low enough to show rocks, not low enough to stop flowing, but low enough to reveal something that should never have been there. A hand, pale, still, half buried in wet brown mud near the edge. It belonged to a man, and everyone in the town knew exactly who he was, but no one said his name. The town of Great Hollow sat far from highways and far from news cameras. One road in, one road out. 2 gas stations, 1 diner, 1 police station with only 3 officers. In Great Hollow, people did not lock their doors. They waved to strangers. They remembered every face, and they remembered every secret. At 6:17 in the morning, old fisherman Earl Denton was the first to see the body. He stopped walking. He did not scream. He did not run. He only stared, then slowly turned around and walked back the way he came. He did not call the police for 43 minutes. Later, when officers asked why, Earl said only one sentence: "I needed time to think." When the police arrived, the fog still floated low above the water. The body lay face down in the mud, shirt torn, 1 shoe missing. A deep, dark wound opened across the back of his head. No wallet, no phone, no watch. Someone had taken time. Someone had been careful. Chief Daniel Moore knelt beside the body and turned the man's face toward the light. His breath stopped. He knew this man. Everyone did. The dead man was Lucas Reed, 34 years old, born in Great Hollow, never left. A quiet man, a helpful man, a man who fixed engines, fences, roofs, a man who never caused trouble. And now he was dead. By noon, the whole town knew, but no one gathered near the river. No one asked questions. No one whispered. The diner stayed quiet. The gas station stayed empty. Windows closed, doors locked. And when the police began asking questions, something strange happened. Everyone said the same thing. "I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I was home all night." Perfect answers. Too perfect. Chief Moore called in a detective from the city. Her name was Elena Cross. She arrived just before sunset. She stood on the riverbank, boots sinking slightly into the wet soil, and looked at the dark water. Small towns were always like this, she thought. Friendly on the surface, silent underneath. She turned to Chief Moore. "Who found him?" she asked. "Earl Denton. Bring him to me." Earl sat in the interview room, hands shaking slightly around the paper cup. Detective Cross studied him. "How long have you lived here?" she asked. "All my life." "When did you last see Lucas Reed alive?" Earl's eyes moved to the corner of the room. "Last night, at the dock." "What time?" "Late, after dark." "What was he doing?" Earl hesitated. "Too long." "Just standing? Alone?" "Yes." Cross leaned forward. "Why did you wait 43 minutes to call the police?" Earl swallowed. Shock. Cross watched his face carefully. That was not shock. That was fear. The autopsy report arrived the next morning. Cause of death: blunt force trauma to the back of the head. Time of death: between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. No alcohol, no drugs. But something else stood out. Under Lucas's fingernails, they found skin. He had fought. He had tried to defend himself. Detective Cross began visiting houses. First, Lucas's home. Small, clean, simple. No signs of struggle, no broken windows, no blood. But on the kitchen table sat an envelope, unopened, no stamp, no address. Only 2 words written in black ink. "You know." Cross felt a chill. Know what? Next, she visited the diner. The waitress, Martha Bell, had served Lucas many times. "When did you last see him?" Cross asked. "Yesterday, around 7. "Was he alone?" "No, with someone." Cross's pen stopped. "With who?" Martha hesitated. Her fingers tightened around the counter. "I don't remember." Cross raised an eyebrow. "You just said he wasn't alone." Martha's voice dropped. "I don't remember who it was."
Another perfect answer. Another lie. At the hardware store, the owner said Lucas had left early. At the bar, the bartender said Lucas never came in. At the church, the pastor said Lucas had been troubled. But no one explained why. No one explained what had changed. No one explained why, in the week before his death, Lucas had suddenly begun visiting people he had not spoken to in years. That night, Detective Cross reviewed old records. Lucas Reed. No criminal history. No debts. No enemies. But one thing stood out. 10 years ago, a teenage girl named Emily Parker had vanished from Gray Hollow. No body, no suspect, no answers. The case went cold in 6 months. Cross looked at the date. Lucas was one of the last people to see Emily alive. The next morning, Cross visited Emily's old house. Her mother still lived there, an aging woman with tired eyes. When Cross mentioned Lucas's name, the woman went pale. "You should leave," she whispered. "Why?" "Because this town doesn't forgive." That afternoon, Cross received an anonymous note under her hotel door. 3 words, written carefully. "Stop asking." No signature, no threat, just a warning. That evening, Chief Moore admitted something quietly. "Lucas came to see me 2 nights ago." "About what?" "He asked me about the Emily Parker case." Cross looked at him sharply. "What exactly did he ask?" "If the file was still locked." "And what did you tell him?" Moore hesitated. "I told him some things are better left buried." Cross walked alone to the river after dark. The water moved slowly, whispering against the bank. Someone had stood here with Lucas. Someone he knew. Someone he trusted. Someone who did not want something remembered. She looked down at the mud. Near the spot where the body had been found, she noticed something small and half-hidden. A metal button, police uniform style. Cross picked it up carefully. Her heart began to beat faster. Only 3 people in town wore that uniform. Behind her, a voice spoke softly. "You won't solve this." She turned. No one was there. Only the fog. Only the river. Only the feeling that the whole town was watching, and that Lucas Reed died not for what he had done, but for what he was about to reveal. Emily Parker disappeared on a warm summer night. 10 years ago. She was 16. She had walked home from a school event and never arrived. No blood, no witnesses, no body. Only silence. Detective Cross read every page of the old file in one night, and one name appeared again and again. Lucas Reed. Not as a suspect, as a witness. The last person to speak with Emily. Cross visited the old high school. The janitor still remembered Emily. He said she was scared near the end. Of what? Of someone in town. Who? Everyone knows, no one says. Cross tracked down Emily's best friend, now living outside town. Her hands trembled when Lucas's name came up. "Emily found something," she whispered. "What?" She wouldn't tell me, only said, "If I disappear, it's not an accident." Did she say who scared her? Yes. A long pause. Someone important. That night, Cross reviewed town records. 10 years ago, 3 people had power in Gray Hollow. Chief Moore, Deputy Harris, Mayor Thomas Bell. All 3 had worked together. All 3 had been present the night Emily vanished. And all 3 were still here. The next morning, Cross questioned Deputy Harris. He was calm. Too calm. "Where were you the night Lucas died?" "On patrol." "Alone?" "Yes." She showed him the metal button. His face changed for half a second, then recovered. "Not mine," he said. But his orange uniform sleeve was missing one button. Cross searched Lucas's garage. Behind old tools, she found a hidden box. Inside, photographs. Old, grainy. Emily Parker standing near the river, with a man. The man wore a police uniform, and the man was younger, but unmistakable. It was Deputy Harris. Cross confronted Harris. He laughed. "That proves nothing. Lucas was collecting evidence," Cross said, "and you killed him to stop him. Harris leaned forward. "You don't understand this town. Explain it." He hesitated, then smiled slowly. "Emily didn't disappear. Cross froze. She died," Harris continued, "and not by accident." Harris told her the truth. 10 years ago, Emily discovered something by accident, a meeting at the river, between the mayor, the chief, and the woman from the city. Money was exchanged, drugs. Gray Hollow was once a small transport point. Emily saw it, recognized faces. They tried to scare her, but she threatened to talk. That night, they met her again, by the river, and things went wrong. "She fell," Harris said quietly, "hit her head on a rock." "Then why hide it?" "Because we moved the body."
Where? Harris's eyes lowered. Under the old bridge foundation. Cross's blood went cold. They dug the next morning, and they found her. Bones, clothes, a necklace still around her neck. The town's greatest secret was now real, but the case was not over, because Harris had not killed Lucas. Cross arrested Harris, but something still did not fit. Lucas had skin under his nails, and Harris had no marks. Someone else had fought with him, someone closer. Cross returned to the diner, to Martha Bell, the waitress, the mayor's wife. Her hands shook when Cross mentioned Lucas. "He came to me," Martha whispered, "2 nights before he died." "Why?" "He said he knew what we did to Emily." "We?" Martha broke. "I was there," she cried. "I helped clean the blood. I helped lie." "And who killed Lucas?" Silence. Then softly, "The mayor." Mayor Bell had been calm since the beginning. Too calm. Lucas had gone to him last, threatened to expose everything. Bell panicked. They met by the river. Bell begged. Lucas refused. Bell picked up a stone and swung. But the story was darker. Chief Moore had seen it happen. He had watched and done nothing, then helped hide the body, just like 10 years before. Cross arrested the mayor, then the chief. The town finally broke. People cried. People confessed. People remembered. Gray Hollow was no longer silent. At the final interrogation, Mayor Bell whispered, "We protected the town." Cross replied, "No, you destroyed it." The truth came out. Emily's death, the drug money, the corruption, Lucas's murder. The town that kept one secret had kept too many. On her last night in Gray Hollow, Cross stood by the river again. The fog still moved slowly, but now the water carried no lies, only memory, only truth, and one final thought. In small towns, secrets do not disappear. They wait for someone brave enough to dig. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.